Joining us now is Nancy Jones. Welcome to the show, Nancy. How are you?
Well, thank you for having me. And as you know, I am the wife and widow of George Jones of 30 years. And we were
Well,
together 32 years, but for 30 years we were married.
now I want to know, is it true that you met on a blind date?
Yeah.
I would love to
Yeah.
know.
And then the rest was history.
So who was that? What was that first date like, and why did he make your heart go pitter pat?
Well, the first date was absolutely wonderful because he opened up his heart and told me things I think he's never told anybody. And I think it really made him feel good to be able to say, be able to talk to somebody that would listen to him. And I did. And we talked all night long. And I've just never met anyone that was so sweet and so kind. And then, then I wrote a book. And the book really told a lot of stuff that I didn't sugarcoat anything. I told the truth on everything in there. And I did die of COVID. And in COVID, I was in the hospital for like 3 to 6 months in intensive care. And I lost all my hair and I couldn't sit up, or I lost all the muscles in my legs and my arms and 70% of my lung. But God, he brought me back to life, and I wrote this book, and it does tell a lot of how we met and everything that went on between me and George.
Well, still playing possum, right?
Yes,
Still
and you
playing
can get it
possum.
on Amazon. It's playing possum. My memories of George Jones.
There you go. There you go. You know, what's so sweet too is that, just because somebody does go through trials or tribulations or challenges, Nancy, isn't a reason not to love somebody, right? Love,
Well,
you know, love is
love and
love.
God will bring you through anything. Yes.
What was one special memory of George that you carry around with you in your heart every day? Was it like the way he said good morning, or the way he smiled and his eyes twinkled? What is like that special moment, between the two of you, if you wouldn't mind sharing it, that just warms
I
your heart
think
every day?
everything, because I've never met anyone that was so much different than he was. He, first of all, he didn't have enough confidence in himself to really think that he could walk on the stage and sing a song. And my God, he was just an icon. He was wonderful, but he didn't have that confidence. So it was something that we really worked on to convince him that you didn't have to have a drink or whatever to get out there and sing a song. So, like I said, that's in the book too, and people will enjoy to see how the journey we went through to change him and also to change myself. But he was such a kind man and a man that I wanted to get to heaven, and I think that was one thing that God put me on this earth for. I really do, is to change George, to give him a longer life, let him be able to enjoy life because he was such a good man. But he had a hard way of growing up and had too many demons in him. But you know what? We whipped him.
Absolutely. I love that too about the country way. I grew up in St. Louis, and there's something that's so, I guess, authentic and real about country music, because you talk about those things. You talk about, trucks and things and women and things that happen and walls and demons, and I believe music heals people. I think music helps people. So even though George also struggled, I think it made him almost like, in a way, like a friend to those that were his fans, because they knew when he got up there, he was singing from his heart and performing like from his soul. And I think that's one of the reasons that everyone loves George Jones, right? Is that
Well,
you
he was a
believe,
ballad.
yes.
Yeah, he was a ballad singer. And that's what he loved more than anything in the world, was to sing those ballads, because he used to say, they everyday life, people go through this. They walk through this world. They do these kind of things. And that was what he was about, was to sing country ballads. And I don't think I've ever in my life knew of anyone that loved country music as much as George Jones did. He lived, ate, and breathed country music.
I was excited when I found out that I was going to be able to speak with you. My first car had an AM radio, and I listened. It only had a country station, so I listened to it all the time. I loved it. And on the school bus in high school, we'd be singing country music on the school bus, and I've always been a big fan. So I was really excited to learn that we're going to spend some time together today talking. Now, tell us also about what's happening right now around March, the Lost Nashville Sessions. Tell us about that.
Well, this is 16 songs on here. And what you're going to hear, you're going to say, "Well, I've heard that song before." No, you have heard these songs before, but not the way that George is singing them. What happens with the Nashville sessions, the Lost Nashville Sessions, is that he would go to the radio stations, and back in those days, you would go and promote your album and our songs live in the radio station. You would sing that song. And this is what the Nashville session is about, is that once they got through with those songs on that radio station promoting that one song, they threw them away.
Huh.
So they were retrieved back, and then Paul Martin, which is one of the Oak Ridge Boys' son-in-law, he called me and asked me if he could put those together. Would I be happy with that, or would I agree with that? I said, "Well, Lord, yes." So they did this in 2013. That was right after George died. And I never heard another word. So I thought, oh, well, it's over. Then this just came out, and March the 21st is when the vinyl comes out, because I love vinyls.
Oh,
So
I do
that's
too.
another thing I'm just so excited about, is the vinyl and the songs that's on there, because like "Wind Up Above" or "White Lightning" or "She Thinks I Still Care," "Grand Tour." You've heard those songs, but you've never heard them this way, because George's voice was so clear, and just you could tell he was pouring his heart out in these songs to get radio to act.
You know, it's amazing, like you say, just those two names together, Nancy, George, Jones, it says country. It says country to everyone, right? There's a way about the people of that generation, Nancy, that kind of defined country music. I think they started, country music was always great in the South, and, maybe they had some people in the North listen or whatever, but now a lot of people love country music. And believe it or not, a lot of people are going back to the greats, and they're wanting to learn, they're wanting to understand. So even if somebody doesn't, I don't know who wouldn't know George Jones by now, but if they didn't, this is going to be a real treat for them too, because they're going to be able to hear those songs, they're going to be able to find meaning in them, they're going to have a more inspirational journey.
Well, it's so different, because you can tell that he is just really pouring his little old heart out, singing them songs like, "Come on, radio, I've sung really hard, now add that song." So you can tell and you can hear it. And it's just, his voice is so crisp and so clear. But they didn't mess with his voice. They did, bring the audio and stuff up to date of what's going on today, but not his voice. And that's what I love about it.
Well, it takes someone that really loved him and really cared about him to be able to make it as authentic as possible. So obviously you put that project in the right hands, right? So it's
Right.
available mid-March, right? Your book is out.
March 21st.
There's many different things of ways that we can get to know you also. And you also, like, what's coming up next for you? Like, what are you most excited about in 2025? Well, first of all, congratulations on getting your health back. But what are you looking forward to this year?
Well, this year I got a Emmy,
Yes? Yes.
and my own personal Emmy. I'm so excited. But what it was a show that we did in Huntsville, Alabama, last year, and it had 35 artists on there. And every one of them was so sweet to come out and I'll sing a George Jones song. And whenever they said that I was up for an Emmy, I'm like, oh yeah, really? I don't think so. So I go, and then they announce the winner is George Jones playing Possum. I like to jumped out of that chair. I go up there and I said, thank you, God, for giving me the courage to rock on this stage, because there's no way I could have done that. It was just amazing. Who would have thought? The competition was tough. So I never thought that I would get one of these, and I'm so excited.
Well, I'm glad you shared that with me because I do have that right here on my note card, and I was going to celebrate that. But it's even
I
nicer,
wasn't going to
Nancy,
let
that
you forget. No
no,
way.
but it's even nicer that you had it with you, that it's right there. So congratulations, because obviously it's well deserved. Those things are heavy, right? My friend, I
I
don't
know,
have
I
them in
can't
my.
even,
They're
Donna,
heavy.
I can't even make a necklace out of it. I wanted to have a necklace.
I think that instead of a certificate plus the statue, that maybe they should start making little necklaces so that you could walk around with it. But
Yeah, really.
it's well deserved, and congratulations to you on your own journey, and your own life. But I know that your love story was so magical and so special, and you're a good woman. You might say that George Jones is a good man, but I want to let you know that you are a good woman, and a good woman is hard to find.
Oh,
So nice.
you're
It
going
was
to
so
make me
nice to meet
cry.
you. Oh, I mean it with my whole heart. So it was
Thank
really
you.
sincerely nice to meet you, Nancy, because you stood by, and you stood by each other. And that's rare in this day and age. So I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you had that profound love. It's a good
Thank you,
thing.
Donna.
You're welcome.
Thank
Happy
you.
journeys to you, ma'am. It was so nice to spend this time with you. And hopefully if I'm in Nashville, maybe we'll have some hot chicken together. So nice to meet you.
Oh, please call me.
Okay.
We'll do lunch with
I
your
would love
daughter
that.
too.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. All right. Be well. Bye bye.